Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Friday, December the 7th, and this is the weekend market overview. Looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UU, PFXE, GLD, SLV, and all the rest. A little bit of a frog in my throat, so hopefully that won't be distracting or anything like that. But anyways, very nice day in the market. Good job numbers, positive day, and a few small inconsistencies. But nonetheless, away we go with the Dow. Very positive today, up 81 points. I thought today was going to be positive, but I thought yesterday was going to be just under the thing. It turned out not to be the case. It had its breakout yesterday, and then had a really positive day today. So all in all, I think that that's pretty good. Beyond that, the outlook for the market overall is not shabby at all. It looks pretty darn good, as a matter of fact, which is amazing considering the fiscal cliff. They keep harping about it on television, and they keep saying that the odds are decreasing, not increasing, that something's going to be done about it. So, indicator-wise, new recent high, positive. Inside the descending channel, positive. Closing above the upper price consensus level, positive. Everything is in ascent. Very positive. So daily, absolutely more positive than negative. The only thing that should be able to derail this on Monday is no fiscal cliff solution and an indication that there will be no deal before Congress goes home for the holidays. So it's all up to the news. Uh-oh. Right? What a perfect way to really bring some holiday cheer in, right? 60-minute time frame. Not going to need to go over this on everything, but here we are, very positive, going right on up. We have no indication of going down to hit the long-term moving averages at this time. We do have some wobble, but other than that, looks pretty darn good. Still room to move to the upside. 60-minute time frame. Everything ticking up or holding high, and not a really nasty jump in the heat map. So 60-minute looks pretty darn good as well. The only thing that can mess it up are the politicians. Moving on to SPX, up just over 4 points. And this one also got above the descending channel today, able to stay inside of it. It barely, I think it made a new recent high. Yeah, it did, by a few pennies. So, new recent high, positive. Fat body spinning top, not as great as the Dow, but still not bad. Everything ticking up, with the exception of the MACD histogram. So, almost as good as the Dow, not quite as good, but still pretty darn good. 60-minute, same thing, pretty darn good. Going on to the VIX, and kind of surprising that this one is having such a rough time. I mean, the news cycle obviously has not shifted sentiment, so it is going down, but we have pretty darn good alignment for increasing to the downside. MACD histogram ticking down, MACD ticking down, RSI going down, CCI going down, disagreement in the stochastics, 14-day RSI moving average, most important one, still moving on down. So, good alignment for more downside on the VIX? Yes, that's what it is. I would not be surprised whatsoever for sentiments to begin to change next week, though. But at the moment, we have no indication. No indication. TNA. Yeah, this one should be leading, and instead it was lagging. So even though it closed up on the day, it was very minor red candle today. No new recent high, but it didn't get as low as yesterday either. and it's not even close to testing the upper trend line of the descending channel. Beyond that, we do have a little more disagreement in TNA, which is somewhat troubling. The CCI trying to go down a little bit. The topping area in the heat map still remains. It is minor, but it's still there. The stochastics in descent, the MACD histogram in descent, but RSI holding high, 14-day RSI moving average still moving up, and the MACD histogram barely moving up. This could easily be consolidation before blasting away. So still a little bit precarious, because if it does break that upper trend line, big trouble. So we will see what happens over the weekend. Going on to UUP. Now, we said last night this was not jiving. We had the uptick resolved. We said we needed to see what happens next, but that the up movement was not proper with the market being green. And what do we have today? We have another move up. Yes, it's red, which helped the market out during the day, but it still closed above where it was yesterday. This does not make sense. This does not make sense at all. In addition to that, my little line is gone. Let me fix it. This was that line in the sand that we noted so many times in the past, with all of its hits and pierces and blah 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 blah. We got above it yesterday. Today, remaining above it. This does not make sense. Coming into the still bearish long-term moving average bar and falling down, it does make some sense in that regard, but its positioning and everything does not make sense with the market going up. So, but how does this one look overall for continued upside? Well, we have absolutely nothing in the heat map now. The bottoming area has totally burned off. It is completely neutral, but we're still moving up in the histogram, MACD, stochastics, and CCI. So, 14-day RSI moving average still in descent, but is this going to reestablish itself as a good floor for this? It's entirely possible. So, this is a problem. This is a problem. To gauge whether or not this makes any sense, we should look at the FXE. And we haven't looked at this one in a while, but that's alright. We had this wedge pendant looking thing in the past that was so nice. We had looked at it before it had fallen out, and we had said that it needed to come back for a test. It did. It ended up breaking through it, going back to the top, and now it's fallen back down. This going down should be bearish for the market, and it is going down. Beyond that, does it have more to go to the downside? Well, the 14-day RSI moving average is in ascent, but look at that. CCI down, stochastics down, MACD histogram down, MACD down, looking for a bearish cross. This does jive with the UUP and is not a good signal for the market. It's very, very curious. Very curious. Going on to GLD. And when GLD is going up, the market should be going up. It did turn out that way today. We did get an uptick. The uptick gives us a target of 166. Excellent. Good to have that. Still have a bottoming area in the heat map. We have most things in ascent. A couple holdouts, the MACD itself and the 14-day RSI moving average. But overall, definitely more positive than negative. And we do have that uptick. So we do have a target. So there should be some more upside to this, which does jive with the overall signal of the overall market. So, very curious. SLV. Not as good as gold for once. We did get an uptick. It was resolved intraday. It is a doji star. And it tells us essentially nothing. The secondaries are more mixed. 14-day RSI moving average moving up, stochastics in disagreement, sideways on the CCI, up on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD. So there isn't anything to be gained from the silver chart tonight. Going on to CompQ, the NASDAQ. This should also lead, just like TNA. And what do we have today? Well, it was able to stay above the 200-day moving average yesterday, and it was not able to do it today. How about that? Yesterday we were saying that this was pretty darn, semi-positive in that it got above the 200-day. The giant tail was all bought. Today, not the case. We have the MACD histogram in descent. We have the stochastics in descent, the CCI in descent, and up on the RSI, up on the 14-day RSI moving average, and up on the MACD barely. So this one, very, very iffy, and its positioning definitely took a hit today. So, very interesting. And it wouldn't be a market overview without Apple. Boy, really nice looking yesterday, and today going right back to the lower Bollinger Band, closing below the lower price consensus level. We have nothing in the short-term moving averages saying anything positive. We do have a bottoming area in the heat map, and almost everything is in decline except for the 14-day RSI moving average. Oof. Everything still has some room to move to the downside, so very, very hard. Very hard. And GE trying to get a better read on the Dow. You would think that with the Dow doing so well today that GE would be doing just, beautiful. And we have a warning sign. We have a new recent high, bullish. We do have a really nice hanging man at the top of a possible range. There's the warning sign. Everything is in ascent. We're barely starting to get the first little twinges of a blip in the heat map, but it's nothing really to get excited about yet. So it is a minor signal that maybe we'll have a reversal here, but certainly this tells us a heck of a lot more than the candle on the Dow chart. So something to be very, very aware of. And it's all going to come down to the news. It's all going to come down to the news. JP Morgan, the most important bank, very powerful, amazing actually. Closing way outside the upper Bollinger Band that should go down or sideways to get back inside come Monday. We have a very strong blip in the heat map for topping area. We have everything else in ascent. So except for the position and the heat map, it looks really good, but very possible warning sign, and coming really close to its previous highs. And XLF to polish off the evening. What do we have here? We have a hanging man with the top outside of the upper Bollinger Band, a blip in the heat map for a topping area, and everything in ascent. Very, very possible warning sign. I mean, the banks have been helping everything go up the last few days and hang in there. If they are reaching their apex and are going to roll over, the market is not going to do well, especially with the NASDAQ doing so poorly. So really, so much hangs on the stinking banks. And so there it is, at the mercy of the news, and that's all there is to it. I would not be surprised to see it turn next week and become very negative, but just a guess. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.